Just because you have a tight budget doesn't mean you can't craft a beautiful space. You can. In today's video, I'm chatting about the top interior design mistakes I see people make when they're working with a tight budget. So not only am I going to tackle those interior design mistakes today, but I'm going to fix them with a $200 budget, because saying something is budget friendly and showing that it's budget friendly are two different things. Now, before we jump into this though, I do want to say thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video, and I will tell you more about them a little bit later on. Have you ever walked into a room and not known quite what to look at? It just feels kind of blah. That's because you do not have a focal point. When you're working with a lower budget, it normally comes down to having the basics, and rightfully so. But for the room to feel designed, you need a center of focus. A focal point isn't just a place where all of the furniture is located, but rather it's the center of interest. The best way to create that interest is to add something heavily textured, patterned, or colorful that draws your attention in a specific direction. In this case, I decided to DIY a canopy using $7.99 curtains from IKEA. This headboard is textured, patterned, and slightly colorful, therefore checking off all of the boxes, and it definitely catches your attention when you first walk in the room, whereas before, there wasn't one place your eye immediately went to. This brings us to the second design mistake I see people make all of the time, and that is not space planning. If you don't know what space planning is, it basically is figuring out how all of the furniture and decor is going to fit in the room. This is what saves you from buying a bed that is too big for a room or buying a chair that is way too small in your living room. Start by assessing the furniture that's in the room and figure out if it meets your needs. In my case, I need a place for lighting, decor, and functional nightstand items. The natural inclination in this room may be to center the bed and have symmetrical side tables, but one, we don't have the budget for that, and two, that would be a waste of space as two people rarely occupy this room. You always want to think about function for you instead of what is the stereotypical right thing to do. So I shopped the rest of their home and found a console table that I could use instead of the existing nightstand. While taller than ideal, it provided me with greater usable surface area than the prior piece and literally elevated the space by drawing the eyes upward. And for the occasional guest, I decided to use a leftover sculpture stand as a drink table. You need to get innovative with furniture pieces and remember that you can use something for something that it wasn't naturally intended for. No one likes when a small space feels small, so a great hack is to use taller furniture, hang wall decor, and get those eyes looking upward. If your eyes have more of a distance to travel visually, it creates the illusion that the space is a bit bigger. Again, you can shop what you already have in your home and follow these tips without spending more money. So far, we've only spent about half of our $200 budget, and I came up with that number because I actually used the money that I'm saving from all of my unwanted subscriptions to do this project. I recently found out I was wasting so much money on unwanted subscriptions, and today's sponsor, Rocket Money, was there to help. Rocket Money is the app you need to save more and manage your money better. This personal finance app allows you to manage your subscriptions, lower bills, make custom budgets, and grow your savings all in one place. As I said, I had way more unwanted subscriptions than I could have ever imagined. I had 2 Amazon Prime accounts. I'm only one person. It was so unnecessary. And Rocket Money safely and securely identifies recurring charges and cancels unwanted subscriptions with a few taps from within the app. They make it super simple. You don't have to talk to any customer service representatives. It is wonderful. The benefits of Rocket Money don't stop there. You can also use it to negotiate your bills. All you have to do is upload one of your bills, tap a few buttons, and they will negotiate your bills for you. From your cell phone bill to your internet or electricity, they can help you out there. You can also use Rocket Money to create custom budgets, and it will even send you notifications when you've gone over budget, which is something I really love. I decided to cut back on eating out, so I know, okay, Kiva, it's time to cook at home and save some of your money. And moreover, you can use Rocket Money to set up smart savings. All you have to do is identify the frequency and how much, and Rocket Money will automatically transfer money for you into smart savings, and you can withdraw it at any point in time. To save more, spend less, and join the over 500 million members of Rocket Money today, go to rocketmoney.com/DIY with KB or click the link in my description box to get started for free. That brings us to mistake number 3. Bad lighting. And this is a mistake I see in luxury spaces and more affordable spaces, and we need to tackle this once and for all. Electrical work is wildly expensive and time consuming, so that's not a place I expect you to put your money when you're working with a smaller budget. However, if you cannot see in a room, you can't use it to its full potential nor see its beauty. The more shadows there are in a room, the smaller it looks. even if it's a massive space. Now, while we already use low-cost LED lights to create a wall-mounted light fixture and added a table lamp, the next way to improve lighting in a room is to add highly reflective items. I did this first by hanging this vintage gold mirror. Obviously, it's going to reflect light because it is a mirror, but be careful. Where you hang the mirror has a huge impact on how it helps the space. If you hang it opposite an empty space or a bright space, it will help the space feel larger. But if you hang your mirror opposite something that is cluttered and dark, you're actually amplifying that cluttered and dark feeling. So be very strategic about this. I also decided to hang very reflective artwork. These two plates were Goodwill finds that were $2.99 a piece. While they aren't mirrors, the light bounces off of them because they're metal. Same goes for this art that I hung. These frames were 3 for $30 at HomeGoods. The mats also brighten the space because they're bright white relative to the creamy beige walls. Now we're talking about the last and biggest mistake I see people make, so you definitely want to keep on watching. This mistake is failing to balance clutter with decor. When people aim to add personality to a home, they fill it with vases, knickknacks, things like that. This is way cheaper than buying new furniture, so I understand why you do it. However, this takes up floor space, table space, and the price can truly add up. Plus, it can confuse you on where the focal point is, undoing a lot of our efforts. So, instead of adding tons of decorative accents, first start by following the rule of 3. We find groupings of 3 more memorable and visually pleasing. So, instead of covering a table with 20 decorative accents, just opt for 3. And if you arrange them in the shape of a right angle, it looks even more appealing because you're varying the heights. Just think about the hundreds you'll save at your local home decor store. And if you're loving these graphics, be sure to follow me over on Instagram because I share graphics like this every single day. Also, when selecting those decorative accents, make sure at least 75% of those items are functional while also being cute. In this case, all accents are functional besides the flowers because the lamp illuminates the space, the candle makes the room smell good, and the bowl is a catch-all. I also need you to remember that pillows and bedding are decor, so use them. So instead of keeping your sofa or bed colorless or unmade, layer colors, patterns, and textures that you have in your other decor on the bed. Beds and sofas have to be in those spaces anyway, so decorating them is never ever in vain. But be careful with how much you decorate because overstyling is very much so a thing. In this case, I decided to repeat the different shades of brown and cream that I have in the room, making the space feel a lot more cohesive and uniform. As you'll notice, I didn't really add that much decor technically to the room. I just switched up the bedding, added some artwork, and in total, I used fewer than 10 decorative accents, even though the space looks wildly different. Now you know how to solve the top decorating mistakes people make when decorating on a tight budget. Was this the most glamorous makeover in the world? No, absolutely not. But I think that this looks like a totally brand new space for under $200. And that is entirely thanks to reusing what we already have, being really strategic with how we design the room, and shopping smartly. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And to take control of your finances today, go to rocketmoney.com/DIY with KB or click the link in my description box. Until next time, have a beautiful day.